Tonight, we give you a sneak peek for what to expect throughout the season, as well as bring you news from around the league. It's time to roll into an average season 2. What's going on, guys? We are the Average Bros Fantasy Show, your one-stop shop for average advice, brought to you by Fantasy Sports Alliance. And as always, you can't just have one bro without the other. So, Kevin, how are you doing tonight? How did that intro sound to you, first of all?
It sounded average. Gonna need to work on that, but just about average. How are you, my friend?
First of all, everybody out there watching, I want your input on how that sounded, because me and Kevin have been going back and forth. As far as how my night is going very amazing. I don't have to go to work after the show anymore. It is the best feeling in the world. And who do we have all out here? We have Damien here. I'm here for all the average I can handle. Maria, how you doing tonight? Maria, Kim, how you guys doing over there? I feel like I just saw you like 5 minutes ago. Oh wait, I did just see you 5 minutes ago. So before we get into tonight's show, if you guys like the show, please like, share, and subscribe to the show, and follow us on all of our social media outlets that you see here at the bottom of the screen, as well as check out our website, getting up there in age, fsa-fr.com. And of course, please head on over and check out Brad, Josh, and Eric on the Empty Wagon Show. From what we know now, they will be going live every Friday for now, until a later date. Then they will resume their normal Friday night / Saturday morning and Monday morning / Sunday night schedule. And of course, before we get into the show as well, I know that I have been dropping hints to make sure you guys watch the show tonight, because we do have a little bit of a surprise for you guys. So to honor or to celebrate our switching over to Twitch, we will be doing a Twitch giveaway. And we here at FSA are going to be holding our first giveaway. Now, how do you enter into this giveaway? Well, I will tell you. All you have to do is simply follow our new FSA Twitch account at twitch.tv/fantasy_sports_alliance. Once you follow the account, you also must share it to either Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter and tag our FSA account on that social media platform. And on March 31st, on the Fanatically Real show on Wednesday night, we will be announcing the winner. And if you guys don't manage to win the giveaway, don't worry. We are still giving you guys a above average treat here. We are also giving you guys 10% off our limited edition Quan for the Win or Commish t-shirts. Just use code AVERAGE at checkout and get yourselves some above average merch. Kevin, I'm going to now hand it over to you so I can get some air in my lungs. So you handle it from here.
I am very excited. As you mentioned, we do have a ton of merch out there. Not only do we have the limited edition stuff, Quan for the Win and the Angry Commish t-shirts, we also have t-shirts, hoodies, and hats for all of our FSA members with their logos on it. If you don't see anything on the shop with your logo that you would like, or a specific product, please send me a message and I will get it out there for you. It is an ongoing process, so bear with us. It is ever changing pretty much by the day as we wrap our arms around the new site. But with that being said, I'm very happy to be over on Twitch now, moving away from Twitter, as we know Periscope is no longer supported. They're doing away with. So follow us over there. you'll see not only all of our shows from the Average Bros, but myself and Brian on Wednesdays with the Phonetically Real broadcast, and the Empty Wagon guys on their twice weekly shows once the season gets going underway. But Josh, I'm sure you'll also be streaming some Madden over there as well from time to time.
Uh, once we figure out how exactly we're going to do it, and once we can figure out a reasonable schedule to show the viewers me whooping your butt on Madden, then yes, we will definitely be doing that.
And thank you, Damien, for giving us a follow. Make sure we get you in the entry to win. We do appreciate that. What else you got on tap for us tonight here?
Well, like I said in the intro, we were going to talk about what to kind of expect throughout the season, and I know that you kind of had some updates for everyone that you wanted to share.
Yes, as I mentioned, a bunch of new stuff going on, merch being the big one. Go out, check out the new site. If you see something that you want, awesome. If not, please let me know and I can get it there for you in a timely manner. But in addition to that, as you see, I am not currently wearing any Average Bros merch, but I am wearing my team name for our new auction league, sponsored by Monkey Knife Fight, which we'll get into a little bit more on them in a bit. But if you have already signed up for the Monkey Knife Fight League, please send me a message with your team name. We are going off of fictional sports teams. I am going to be the owner and GM and quarterback of the Mean Machine. Josh, I heard that you picked out a new team name today as well.
Yes. So to kind of carry on you could say it's an FSA rivalry. You could just say it's a brotherly rivalry. But of course, Kevin and I are always going against each other. So with him naming his team as the Mean Machine, I am going to be naming my team after the Guards.
Interesting
It
play.
is. It is interesting, and I mean, with you at quarterback, I should easily be able to get any win that we whenever we go up against each other.
I think you just need to add some estrogen pills to his normal daily vitamin regimen, and you'll be okay.
All I gotta say is protect those McNuggets, and you'll be good.
Hold on, I have something I want to ask real quick of our stat guy tonight. Are you getting closer to your mic as you talk?
You told me I sound better this way. For you tonight, yes, I am.
You. So for the people who don't know, I told Brian that there was one time, I think it was after the Fanatically Real broadcast, he got like very close to his mic, and I told him, I was like, "Oh my God, you sound like 20 times better." So I think he's taking my advice here. Kevin, what's next?
In addition to the auction league, I believe we're currently sitting at 4 remaining open spots. We have plenty of other openings as well in our Referring Veterans DoD League for all active and former military. It is a spin on our spin on a partial keeper league. If you are interested in joining that, you can message either myself, my average brother, or Brian, and we'll get you in the right place. We are also, I believe, sitting at just shy of 30 or around 30 members in the redraft league as well already. We're shooting for 8 regions of 12, so a total of 96 teams. Tons of fun over there. Custom logo that you hear us talking about that goes onto the merch. World Championship sponsor, I know we've got one back this year in Nature Coast, as well as a handful of others that we will name off throughout the show here. I know Josh is trying to rebrand his team. His shield didn't bring him any luck last year, so trying to bring a new look to the Golden Boys out of the whatever region that you want to lose in this year.
Well, I know that we are certainly planning to have me, you, and Damien in our own or in the same region, which I'm definitely excited for. And I mean, you have the shield as well because you stole it from me. As much as you want to say that you didn't and that you own me, apparently.
I do.
So yes, I I am looking to rebrand my logo, and from what I have seen so far, it is going to look very above average.
Damien says he's going to need more than luck coming into the Appalachian region, and I would have to agree with you, Damien.
I will make sure I have Traquan Smith, guaranteed.
Just wanted to give a little number update. So Kevin put it out there just a few minutes ago. We are sitting at 30 teams in the redraft. We have 14 in the QB 54 Arm and Leg League. The Monkey Knife Fight Auction/IDP League is currently at 10. And the Veterans Referring Veterans Department of Defense League is currently at 6.
Speaking of leagues, I forgot to mention QB 54 or Play QB 54 is back again with us for our Arm and Leg League, where we remind everybody that kickers are people too, and that is a league where you can only take a kicker or a quarterback. And in addition to that, with them as our sponsor, Josh, why don't you tell them about our other sponsor, Monkey Knife Fight, who is on the Auction League?
Wow, I have the honor of delivering the Monkey Knife Fight section here. I thought you were going to want the honors, and
I can't take everything.
And I believe, if I remember correctly, this is Chris saying that kickers are not people. You, sir, are wrong. As much as I would like to agree with you and keep things friendly here, you're wrong. However, with the new addition of our Auction League sponsor, we have Monkey Knife Fight. And Monkey Knife Fight is a daily fantasy sports gaming website for the casual sports fan that is simple, fun, and easy to play. Users determine which superstars competing in the day's professional sporting events will record more or less than the contest line provided. Monkey Knife Fight's daily fantasy prop games play similar to the salary cap-based DFS games, but without the algorithms, lineups, or most importantly, sharks. There are several contests to choose from, none of which require hours of research required on competing sites. Start with a simple... How am I supposed to pronounce this, Kevin? I don't really do the daily stuff. Is it 2 out of 2 or 2/2?
2 out of 2.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm being below average here. Start with a simple 2 out of 2 or go for the highest payouts 100 times and higher by selecting an 8 out of 8 more or less contest. Get started now with a 100% instant match bonus up to $50 with promo code FSA.
That is correct. And Damien chimes back in with us and says kickers have one place and one place only in fantasy football, and that is in the Arm and Leg League. I would agree if I didn't see them in the redraft, which they are there as well. So,
come on, Damien, stop being below average. Jeez.
That is all from my side, sir.
All right, and that is all from me. I had a little bit of trouble getting through that. My brain doesn't want to work tonight. However, that brings us into the NFL news brought to you by The Recast, the official music of FSA. Kevin, we have a little bit to go over here. There is a lot of we've been gone for quite some time now. So where do you think we should kick it off at?
Well, we should probably kick it off at the front end of the players that have been signed to actual contracts and not the tags that came out today, mainly being Dak Prescott of the Cowboys getting signed to a, I believe, 4-year, $160 million deal. The first 3 years averaging $42 million, back-ended on that 4th year, getting just about what he had asked for originally, and some, I believe, getting closer to what Mahomes was offered. You got to believe this is all part and thanks to the rest of the Cowboys quarterback room underperforming when he was out last season and really leaving them no option.
Yeah, I mean, could they have gone out and got somebody else? Yes, they could have. There still are a bunch of QBs that are being shopped to this day, but I mean, I guess in their minds they thought that Dak was the safe and easiest choice to go. I mean, I think that they still can do something with Dak running the offense. I mean, they have all the pieces there on offense at least. Their kind of concern is with the wrong side of the ball. I think they need to focus more on the defense and go from there.
Yeah, I mean, if you take a look at it, they've got younger receivers in CD Lamb. They aged out their tight ends, so they're bringing in some youth there. Still have a they still have a decent offensive line protecting Dak. They really have to get the funk out between him and Zeke playing together, but I think that would be a learning curve if no matter who they brought in. So I'm in agreement with you. Giving up those leads that they did last year, I'm more concerned about the defense here than Dak in the offense.
Yeah, it's kind of similar to like just how New Orleans runs. I mean, every time New Orleans plays, it's usually a high scoring game, and whether or not they win or lose. So, see, I know I have experience with this, dealing with a team with no defense.
Damien checks back in and says that 1 year ago yesterday, I saw the Cowboys declined an offer from Dak's agent for $36 million for 5 years. So he has increased his stock off of a bad year.
Off of an injury.
Yes, as Damien reminds us, increased his value by riding the bench. I believe that's really the grass is the grass always greener, right? They brought in a quarterback that was a starter in Andy Dalton to be his backup basically and be ready, when needed. He underperformed. They bring in a rookie who underperformed, and then if you look at the value of what's out there, you got to believe that if they bring in an aging Russell Wilson, it will probably be close to the same money if they have to sign him, or maybe just under because of the longevity of the quarterback. If you look at Cam Newton, it's not probably going to give you the same performance as Dak does, as we saw last year. Ryan Fitzpatrick is just going to be a journeyman backup. So they really don't have that many options for the value anymore.
Yeah, speaking of Fitzmagic, he has confirmed that he does want to come back and play in 2021. I know that I believe some people were saying that he was contemplating retiring. However, that is not the case. And if he does decide to stay with the Dolphins, is he still with the Dolphins?
He is a free agent.
Okay. So, well, if the Dolphins decide to re-sign him, then all you Tua owners, kind of be careful. You might get a half-season Tua again.
Yeah, just the opposite half this time, right?
Probably start out in the first half and then end up getting benched.
It says, you guys previously did your rankings for the year and Dak dropped a lot. Where do you have Dak ranked for next year? And does he move up or does his value hold where it is? I see it holding where it is. I think that we ranked him based on him staying with the Cowboys. I think he falls he falls back from where he was last year, but doesn't fall any further having this signing. I think it's just really the best option for him as far as availability of other places out there that have the need for a quarterback or where he would have gone. So I don't think he falls any further, but I definitely don't see him as a top 5 quarterback in most drafts where he was drafted last year.
Yeah, I had him at number 8 behind Murray, Brady, if his wide receivers are still there, Rodgers, Lamar, Wilson, Allen, and Mahomes. And yes, this was with the stipulation if he was healthy and still with Dallas.
Yeah. Speaking of Brady's receivers, Chris Godwin did get tagged.
Yes, Chris Godwin did get tagged along with a bunch of other names, such as Justin Simmons, Allen Robinson, Cam Robinson, Leonard Williams, Marcus May, Brandon Sheriff, Taylor Moton, and my boy Marcus Williams.
I think the biggest names out of there is probably going to be the two receivers. The first one that we named, Chris Godwin, coming off his rookie deal, I believe, stays in Tampa with Tom, who has habitually taken a pay cut for this reason to pay other players. They did re-sign a defensive player, a defensive back for Tampa, with any saved money there. And then, unfortunately for everyone who has a fantasy stock in Allen Robinson, he does stay with the Bears as he gets tagged and still has no quarterback.
Well, I know at least in his hopes they can secure Russell Wilson for him, depending on however that tussle goes. But yeah, out of all three options they have there right now, I mean Russell Wilson would obviously be the best choice for him. But
Well,
if
by
he
far.
still, well, yes, I knew that. I mean, unless you have, what's it, Nick Foles sitting on the bench and then Trubisky gets injured, then you're in for a Super Bowl win.
Yeah, I mean, I find it hard to believe that they are going to go out and sign Russell Wilson. I just don't believe there's anything that they could offer the Seahawks back, because that means that the Seahawks are looking for a quarterback. And there's no way they're going to go from Russell Wilson to Trubisky or Foles just because of what seems to be a locker room / coaching personnel issue, and just a simple disagreement that would want them to look elsewhere.
It is one to be keep an eye on. However, unlike Allen Robinson being stuck with a team, we also have a list of players who currently are heading out the door to free agency. Starting off with probably the biggest name here right now, and I know this is Damien's guy here, Aaron Jones, followed by Shaq Barrett, Kenny Golladay, Jonnu Smith, and Hunter Henry. Like I said, the biggest name there is Aaron Jones. I mean, do you think they even have anybody to replace him, or do you think that they're going to end up re-signing him, or do you think he's going to end up going to the Dolphins?
I don't think he'll go to the Dolphins. I think they like their team as is. They're not one to go out and spend money. They're more so draft pick happy. They usually like to sell off and just draft something versus sign it. So I think he'll probably have to go to a contender with money. And if you look at those names, that have the most cap. I mean, the Patriots are up there, but don't really need a running back. I think Jacksonville's up there. They don't need a running back now. The Bills, possibly. I think they've got money to burn. They could use a running back.
I think that I think out of those teams there that you just named, the Bills would be the best fit for him, because they do. I do believe they do need a running back, unlike Devin Singletary. I just don't think that he's capable of being a running back one. So I do think that if they do bring in Aaron Jones, that he could be a solid, backup playing here and there, share the workload 25-75, and he can get you the yards that you need.
And to clarify, Damien, I know that they are not technically contenders currently. I said it would have to be a contender or a team with money. And I named teams that have money. So the Bills just happen to be both.
And the
As
Saints
far
will
as
be nowhere near him.
as far as Chris's question, he says, "Where do we believe Chris Carson signs? Seems he hasn't been told he isn't wanted, or he has been told he isn't wanted in Seattle. I believe he is also on that list of players not returning. For me, the biggest fit here is going to be the Jets. I believe they they don't have a ton of money out there. He's young enough to where he still has a couple years left in him and is just going to be looking for a starting position. Jets do need a running back. They're already sold on Darnold, so they're probably going to trade back in the draft and get him receiving help that he doesn't have. I believe they tagged the defensive player as well, so if they can get a running back pretty cheap or middle of the road, I think that's going to be their best bet.
I'm sitting here trying to think of teams that possibly could need running backs, and
Maybe the Cardinals, but it
that
seems
was
like
one
they're
of them.
sold on. Seems like they've been sold on Edmonds.
Yeah, I was thinking about the Cardinals. I mean, maybe the Eagles.
No, they're not. They won't sign somebody like that. I mean, maybe Carson, definitely not Jones because of Miles Sanders.
Yeah, no, yeah, I know not Jones, but I was more just talking about like Chris Carson if he were to go there.
Let's see. Um, does Seattle have enough money to go after Jones? Are they not bringing back Carson to go after a guy like Jones? That's a possibility.
That's the other thing I was going to mention was what if they just do like not a trade swap, but just not just a trade.
Swap.
Yeah, sign swap.
I mean, LA has Cam Akers. Arizona, we already mentioned, likes Chase Edmonds. San Fran already has 5 running backs. They really don't need another, especially either one of Carson or Jones's caliber. I mean, it's going to be pointless to go there. The Saints have Kamara. Tampa Bay has Rojo, Vaughn, and Fournette. Carolina's going to have CMC. The Falcons could use a running back. Probably won't pay Jones money, but could pay Carson. Washington football team has Gibson that they really like and McKissick. The Giants already have Barkley. Dallas has Zeke. The Eagles have Miles Sanders, who could add a Chris Carson, but is probably not likely. Green Bay could now sign Carson. Chicago loves their Cohen and Montgomery combo. Minnesota has Cook, and the Lions have Swift. So I really don't see, outside of a swap, really many options out there for either running back. At least in the NFC that I just ran through. Titans have Henry. Colts have Taylor. The Texans, maybe. You see them going out and getting a running back.
Didn't they re-sign Johnson to a 1-year deal?
Yeah, but I mean, he barely did anything last year. What's the why would they really go get him one? Why wouldn't they get one? I should say.
It all just depends on what team feels like what they need at the time. So I don't know. There is a bunch of opportunities.
The Steelers need a running back. The Jets could use a running back. The Chargers, maybe. The Broncos, maybe. Both of them have questionable running back cores.
Kevin, I'm going to let you answer this question. Chris says, throwing one more out there before I head to bed. Rank these 3: Jamar Chase, Devontae Smith, and Jalen Waddle. Who has the better career?
In order: Devontae Smith, Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle. I think Smith has unbelievable reach and athleticism. I mean, the things that he just goes up and grabs is bar none. I think Chase is right there behind him, and Waddle is too big of a question mark for me compared to the other two. I think it could turn into something big, but doesn't have the standout plays, at least through college, that I've seen compared to the other two. I'll throw right in that mix Kyle Pitts, the tight end, who a lot of teams are going to ask to play and go through the wide receiving drills. Could be drafted as a wide receiver, I've heard. Doesn't really want to play anything but tight end, though. He could be up there as well. Personally, I hope that he goes to the Patriots. We need another big tight end, but that's
If anybody
just
needs a
me.
tight end, it's me. It's the Saints.
No, you have Troutman.
Can always get another
That's your
one.
guy now. That's your guy now.
Two tight end set.
You do have two tight ends, him and Hill.
No, that's not two tight ends. That's a tight end and a football player.
Same thing.
Real. That's a tight end plus 10 other positions.
Yes. Who else do we have moving around so far throughout the news here?
Wait.
Damian, they have more than one Hill. I was referring to Taysom, who has previously lined up as tight end.
Okay, I was gonna say why would they even think about that? But yes, I forgot for a second they have two Hills.
Yes. What else we got?
I'll be honest with you. That is the end of the news. If I remember correctly, though, on the season 1 finale, I do believe we said that we were going to open up this season with a list of wide receivers, if I'm not mistaken.
That is correct, but I don't have that in front of me. I can pull it up.
I can
give me a half a second.
Give me.
I actually might not have it.
Damien, I know you're still out there. Since Kevin lost the list, completely blaming it on Kevin. I was gonna say throw the list at us because I know you're above average and still have it. Chris says, "Good night, fellas. Have a good one." With like EN space EN. Chris, you have a great night too. Thank you for staying up
from
somewhat
across
late.
the pond.
Yes, I know. That is because he's from
Gotta,
across the pond. Is it considered staying up late or staying up early?
Well, they're 5 hours ahead of us.
Either way, it's past my bedtime. Whether it's there, here, everywhere.
I completely forgot that Brian was there.
Wow. Well, then it's not so bad if I go to bed then.
You know what? If you want to go to bed, you know you've had an exceptional day in the office. We will give you the rest of the night off without pay.
No, he hasn't.
Kickers are not people, and nose rings do not belong on soldiers. You all have a good night.
Oh my goodness. So what I was going to do, Kevin,
let me just ask you this: if your draft was today in a redraft situation, who's your wide receiver 1?
who's my wide receiver 1?
Yeah.
Can I have a situation? Give me a situation. What's my pick? Who's been taken in that?
Nobody. You got to draft a wide receiver. The first one off the board. Who do you take? Who is going to finish the highest overall, most points? Who do you take?
Ooh, I'm gonna have to say Stephon Diggs.
Okay.
I'm going for receptions. Go ahead.
Last year in the top 12 by ADP throughout FSA was Michael Thomas. So you're saying you would rather draft this year Diggs over Thomas?
Of course. As much as I love Michael Thomas, he immediately, easily, without a doubt, went on a huge recession after having the huge record-breaking 149 reception season, and which was followed by Stephon Diggs taking the receptions award, I guess you could say, with 129, I believe he had. And in a PPR where you're able to get receptions as well as still get the yards, obviously I know he wasn't the one to take home the most yards, if I'm not
And
mistaken.
most yards was Derrick Henry
For
with over 2,000.
rushing, well, no,
Or
that was
sorry,
rushing yards.
receiving yards was it might have been Diggs.
Was it Diggs? If it is Diggs, then I am definitely going Diggs. If you're able to,
A stat guy left for the night.
don't worry. The backup stat guy's here. The backup stat guy is here, and he is here to deliver. It was Stephon Diggs. I'm sorry. So yes, I'm
Yeah.
definitely taking.
I believe he beat out Travis Kelce in the last week of the season.
Yes, because Kelsey was benched. I believe. I don't think he was injured. I think he was just benched because
he didn't play.
Yeah, just
because they
because
had
of
it locked up.
playoff. Yeah. But yeah, I'm definitely going Stephon Diggs as
The top
as my
receiver
number one.
taken.
Definitely.
For me, now with Jones being out of Green Bay, I've got to believe that it's going to be Devontae Adams. I mean, he was right on his heels all season on Diggs. That is, did miss 2 games, and Diggs didn't miss any, and still was right there with him. You got to believe that he's probably going to have to step it up once again, being that the number 2 receiver there is going to be Marquez Valdez. I don't know when to play Scantling and takes weeks off. And then obviously with Jones coming out, they're probably going to regress in the run game with a handover season to Dillon. I don't think he'll be able to carry the same load as Adams did. So he's going to be my number 1. Who would you put it to?
At the second drafted wide receiver, it's going to have to be Devontae Adams behind Diggs for me.
Yeah, I would also slide Diggs in there as well for me behind Adams. Last year on the ADP top 12, Adams was number 2, taken off the board.
Okay. We have the list here provided by Damien, owner of the Mad Scientist. So number 3 was Julio Jones last year. I think we can both agree that he's dropping a bit.
I think he drops all the way down to the second half of this list for me. I think that off of name recognition alone, he's still going to go inside the top 12. But
really?
I think he drops quite a bit, yeah.
I think I'm going to say that he drops out of the 12.
I don't think so. I think that's way too far, especially with the names that are on this list already.
So hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, you're kind of getting me here. You might get me. I'm counting 9 so far of receivers that I could see going before Julio.
So for me, at 3 is going to be DeAndre Hopkins. I think that he improves off of last year. I think they get him a little bit more help. I think their tight end plays a little bit more of a role to take the pressure off of him. They could probably go out and sign another receiver, maybe a Galladay, since he's walking out of Detroit, since Larry Fitzgerald has since retired. So for me, I could see him being at 3 again this year, or moving up to 3.
So this is where it's going to start to get a little controversial for us, because I am going to step away from Hopkins and I'm going to hand over my third spot to Tyree Kill. I absolutely love having that deep ball factor and everything, getting the yards racked up, and just being able to hit the deep ball with him into the end zone. It's just hard to take him down. I'll tell you that now. I mean, Hopkins, I guess you could say the only advantage that he would have over Tyreek is the ability to get more receptions. But at the end of the day, I'm going to go with Tyreek.
Yeah, I can't put Tyreek that hill because of, as Damien mentions, Kelsey steals his thunder. You also now still have 2 running backs there. They still have CEH, and they still technically have Le'Veon. I forget what the terms of that deal was, if it was a 1 year or a 2, if he's still under contract or not. Plus, you have Sammy Watkins. You have Williams, who's returning, who onto the team. They just have so many weapons that you can't tell me that you can rely on Hill every game.
I won't necessarily call it Kelsey or Hardman or Watkins stealing his thunder. I think it just takes the pressure away from him. In Hopkins' case, that's pretty much all they have on that team now that Larry Fitzgerald is retiring. So I think that, over the season, teams are going to kind of pick up on it. They're going to double them. They're going to put a safety over there with them to get rid of any deep threats. And you could technically say it's the same situation for Tyreek. Shadow with safety over there, and he's not going anywhere past 15 yards. But at the same time, he's perfect for dumping the ball off to him and just letting his legs do the work.
Yeah, the biggest thing for me is just going to be the availability for the receptions. You've got to spread the ball around more in Kansas City than you do in Arizona. So for that, I put him ahead of Hill. And he's not the only one that we haven't named either, that I'm probably going to slide over Hill for that same reason.
Well, then, speaking of moving down the list here, who do you have at number 4?
So number 4, I have Michael Thomas.
I do plan on including Thomas in there. I'm going to kind of just go through the 2 here from 4 into 5. I was going to put Hopkins at 4, and then I was going to say Michael Thomas at 5 because of the availability that you mentioned for the receptions, as well as what you said about Julio, just because of the name, what he has done in the past, and I guess just off of pure superstition that he's going to be able to do it again once 100%. So I got Thomas at number 5 behind Hopkins at number 4.
At 5, I'm going to go Justin Jefferson.
Okay.
And then at 6 is where I'm going to put Hill. I'm pretty high on Justin Jefferson. I think that he improves off of last year. I think that the chemistry between him and Kirk Cousins just gets a little bit better. Kirk Cousins did win on a Monday night last year, so it seems like he has been improving. That helps. They just got to get through the playoffs. Dalvin Cook looked good again. Just has to stay healthy and not hold out. So for me, Justin Jefferson improves big.
And you have him at number 6, you said?
No, 5 and Hill at 6.
Okay, so Jefferson at 5, Hill at 6. At 6, I am not even bringing Jefferson into the picture yet because I'm going to mention Calvin Ridley before I do Jefferson because of the, I guess you could call it the Minnesota curse that you and I dealt with last season as far as our top dog section went, where one of us would predict Dalvin Cook to be the top scorer for the week, and then it would be Jefferson. And then we would predict Jefferson to be the top scorer of the week, and then it happened to be Cook or Thielen. So I think that I guess you could call it curse carries over into this next season. I think the fact that they still have Thielen, they have Jefferson now, who is making a name for himself as a wide receiver, and you've said it yourself too, rookies, they give other teams tape to look at and they're gonna pick up on something. And then as well as having Cook in the backfield. So because of that, I'm going to put Ridley before him because Atlanta talked about it earlier. They don't really have a running back with no knees Gurley. And Julio's kind of on his way out the door, only being recognized as a decent receiver solely because of name recognition. But I think Ridley did absolutely amazing last season. And whether or not it's Matt Ryan throwing the ball or a new rookie, I think that it's still the same thing.
So we're at 7 now. 7, I will go Ridley because of what's around him and aging Julio, who took a step back last year and no running back. And then at 8, I'm going to go with the better of the two touchdown scoring receivers in Mike Evans out of Tampa Bay over their newly tagged Godwin.
Okay, so you're bringing in. Go ahead with Damien's comment.
Damien says, "I wonder how many people said that about Randy Moss." I'm not 100% sure what you're referring to, Damien. Which part? Who said what about Moss?
So you are slowly bringing in the plethora of Tampa Bay receivers down there in the South. When you started bringing up, the better of the, receiver tandem who scores more touchdowns, I thought you were going to go to Seattle, which is, what are we at, number 7?
Yeah.
I'm debating if I want to bring one of those boys in or if I want to put Jefferson at where he was on the FSA leaderboards last season, because that's what I'm looking at. So I think I'm going to leave Jefferson where he is at number 7. I think, like I said, I think that he is improving himself as a rookie, and because of that, he's going to obviously be drafted a lot more sooner than what he was. And regardless, he's still going to get you the numbers despite of who's there.
Damien says that Josh said defenses will catch up to Jefferson with more tape on them. That's something that I have said in the past about quarterbacks as they come in as rookies. You really don't know if to expect games 1 through 6, maybe 7 and 8 in the early part of the year. But the more games played, the more their tendencies build out, the more film on them, it makes it a little bit easier to game plan. I think receivers are a little bit harder because it's more pure athleticism, especially when you're talking about a guy like Jefferson or Randy Moss, as you mentioned. I mean, the ability to literally just jump up and grab the ball 3 feet above people in traffic. I mean, there's no way you game plan for that outside of, hey, don't let this guy get close to you, which is pretty hard to do.
Obviously there is no way to game plan that where you can just tell your cornerback or safety, just say, hey, don't let him jump higher than you. I mean, you can't do that. What are you going to do? Hold his feet down? So,
kick him in the shins.
Yeah. What are you going to do? Kick his shins out? You will get ejected, faster than anything. So, I mean, yes, there is athleticism that comes into it. However, there still is ways you can game plan. Obviously, number one being how deep are you playing from him? I mean, you see guys covering Tyree Kill, they're always playing off of him a little bit because they know that he's got the speed. Or two is what I've been talking about, just double covering him. So there is ways you can game plan, but at the end of the day, it does come down to athleticism.
I think next on my list at 8 is going to be somebody that you can't really double cover because he's got the speed of Jefferson and the stiff arm of Derrick Henry, DK Metcalf.
There he is. I 100%
think as
agree with you.
As long as Wilson stays there and they play a full season and don't take half the season off like they did last year, I think DK Metcalf is going to be a wide receiver 1 for many years.
Yeah, I'm actually going to have to agree with you. I think I as well am going to put Metcalf at 8. He finished 6th this year with 261 points. However, there's just names on the list that were injured. There's just names on the list that were rookies, and they're stepping up now. So because of that, yeah, he's dropping down to 8 for me this year.
And now for this list that I'm going off of, for me, it's where I would personally draft them and, where I project them finishing. As far as overall finishers, it may obviously be skewed just a bit. For me, at 9, I think regardless of where he goes, is going to be Allen Robinson. I think that as well as he did with the Bears, I think that last season, I think whatever they make of the quarterback situation there, whoever comes in, whether it be Foles or Trubisky, I think he does just as well again, regardless of whatever they have going on in the backfield.
It gets so much more difficult once you start getting into the thick of it. So I'm going to say for number 9, I'm going to go to the south. I'm going to go the opposite end of one of the boys you picked earlier. I'm going to go with Chris Godwin.
And that was my next mention as well.
Yeah, so on FSA's list, he is 32nd with only 180 points. However, he did miss 5 games. And also out of him and Mike Evans, I believe he is more of the receptions guy. Missing 5 games, he had 65 receptions last year. Mike Evans played a full season and had 70. So Godwin plays those 5 games. Obviously, he's going to surpass him. So I'm going to put Chris Godwin at number 9 because of his ability to get the receptions.
And I've got Godwin at 10. Same reason.
At 10. Who am I putting at 10? I think I'm going to say Allen Robinson at this point. Like I said, number 8 with 245 points. Doesn't fall far, but I think that he's going to be number 10 on the list.
11 for me. I'm going to mix it up. I'm going to throw a rookie in. I'm going to put Devontae Smith here. I think that he's going to light it up pretty well.
That is a good. I'm not going to throw any rookies in there. I don't think that. I will throw. You know what? I'm going to throw somebody in there who was a rookie. If we're going to go out there with some predictions, and this list, are we basing it off of like where we would draft them, as well as like where they're going to finish off on the year, or just where we would personally take them at?
Where I would personally take him at it, if there's 10 receivers off the board, I would take a flyer on Devontae Smith personally, regardless, as Damien mentioned, of his landing spot.
So
Obviously,
okay.
if you're a team in the first round who's got a chance, you're looking at top 10 to take him. You're not going to waste a pick like that on taking a receiver that you don't need. So for me, I would take him, and I think a good spot for him would be if the Dolphins can get back up in there, or if Watson doesn't leave, if the Texans can get back in the first. But that's just a
So
hope and a prayer there.
at number 11, I am going for somebody who was a rookie this year, kind of fell short of everybody's expectations. But I think he's going to bounce back very good this season. I'm going to go with Henry Ruggs. I think that he builds the chemistry there with Derek Carr. I just think that he gets more comfortable playing in the scene of the NFL. I think they connect on some of the deep balls with the speed that he has. So yeah, I'm going. This show went down. Damien says this show went downhill fast.
That's because we don't agree with him, but that's his average opinion. For me, to round out my list at 12, I'm going to put CeeDee Lamb. I think he surpasses Amari Cooper this year in being Dak's top target as long as Dak can stay healthy. I think that money did have a factor for him last year. I mean, he didn't play well when he was on the field, then had injuries, and then obviously just the whole team being in turmoil in the NFC least. I think they bounce back and are right there in contention again.
So to round it off for me, this is going to be 75% be off of what I believe, 25% off of satisfying Damien's needs here. I'm going to say Keenan Allen, number 12. Finished 14th on the year. However, I'm assuming he missed part of week 15, only having 2.6 points, and missed week 16 and 17. Damien, that is your opinion. Henry Ruggs is going to be top 10 next season.
Brian Edwards largely went undrafted in redraft, barely there in dynasty, and not even close to where he should have been. As far as conversations, I don't understand why people keep talking about him. It's Henry Ruggs and Darren Waller there. Anyone else might as well not even try. I don't even think Brian Edwards finishes with as many fantasy points as Nelson Aguilar does.
So, like I said, I'm going with Keenan Allen to finish off our list here. Like I said, he missed about 2 and so on games, and Justin Herbert getting his feet wet in the NFL. Damien says pie bet right now. So with Justin Herbert getting his feet wet, making a top 10 appearance. I can't talk tonight, apparently. I think that he comes out the gates again with that. Maybe not as good as this past year was. As we know, the theme of everything is everybody going out on a high note and then regressing after that. So Keenan Allen goes
sophomore
at
slump.
Sophomore slump. Keenan Allen goes at number 12.
I'll take that bet. Bet. Ruggs finishes with more fantasy points in 2021 than Brian. I wish I could hold Henry Ruggs' jockstrap bets.
Kevin, would you picked your number 12, right?
Yes, I said CeeDee Lamb.
So purely or solely because I actually have another guy who I do want to mention on this list. If you were to have an honorable mention of who was going to make the top 12, but didn't quite make the top 12, who would it be?
I would probably have to go with Robbie Anderson, Carolina Panthers.
Okay.
I think he did pretty well last year. Maybe recency biased of having him on my team and seeing it every week, but I think he did well enough with you added in a second year as long as Bridgewater is there, a healthy CMC to take some of that underneath stuff off of his plate. I think it opens him up to go deep. I think he, goes out well. Again, with Damian and his wrong opinions. He says DJ Moore over Robbie Anderson. He wasn't better than him last year, fantasy-wise.
Okay. So in Damian's defense, I feel like Damian would have a better leg to stand on with that bet. I do believe so.
Well, this bet over the Bryan Edwards, sure, but still not close.
AJ Brown. Oh my goodness. Damian. Oh my goodness. Thanks for ruining the surprise. My honorable mention, as Damian has clearly just said it here, is going to be AJ Brown. Finished 12th on the season. However, missed 2 games during the season, in the beginning of the season. Had he played those 2 games, easily would have been a top 10 finish. Easily.
The biggest issue with AJ Brown is
Derrick Henry.
Yes. When you have it,
Derrick what?
Henry.
Derrick Henry.
When you have a running back that rushes for over 2,000 yards and quite frankly could do it again this year, when you have somebody like that, there's no consistency in the pass game. He could.
I don't think Henry goes 2,000 again.
I wonder if it's been done back-to-back 2000s.
Damien,
I need a stat guy to tell me.
Yeah. So like I said, I don't think Henry does 2,000 again, but I'm that guy who thinks that if a team has a big boom player on their team, it opens up the possibilities for the next man up, which I think next man up on Tennessee is going to be AJ Brown. It opens up the possibilities for him to get open when teams are crashing down inside the box, bringing 8, 9 players to the ball, and you can get it to AJ Brown. I think that
if they bring 9 players down into the box, they better score with AJ Brown. There's only 2 guys out there.
Okay, yes. So my sole purpose for my main reasoning for saying 8 or 9 was because basically you guys should just see how me and Kevin play Madden. Okay, I guarantee you, I bring 9 players in the box, all blitzing. Kevin can't even get the ball.
It's just engage 8 the entire time. I've got Brady with the fastest release in the league and still can't even throw. But I digress. That wraps it up for us and the formal portion of the show. Josh, what else you got for us?
That is all from me. Before we head on out of here, guys, make sure you guys head on over to twitch.tv/fantasy_sports_alliance and give the channel or page or group or whatever, give the family a follow. Tell you that there. Make sure you guys give it a follow, as well as share it on either Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. Tag the FSA account on that social media platform, and you guys will easily be entered in to win a giveaway for a t-shirt of your choice. No limits. So if you guys want to pick up some Average Bros merch, if you guys want to get some Empty Wagon t-shirt, like a Empty Wagon t-shirt, by all means. And like I said at the beginning of the show, if you guys are unable to win the giveaway, don't worry. We are still taking care of you guys over here under the FSA umbrella. And you guys are still able to get 10% off any limited time t-shirts, whether it be the Quan for the Win t-shirt or the Angry Commish shirt. Just use code AVERAGE at checkout and get yourself 10% off. And before we return to our regularly scheduled Average Bros Fantasy Show on March 23rd at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yes, just like tonight, we are now back on at 8:30 p.m. because Joshy has a new job and he doesn't have to go to work right after the show. Check out the flagship program with Brian and Kevin on the Fanatically Real broadcast next Wednesday on March 17th. There is no show tomorrow night, guys. No show tomorrow night. It will be next Wednesday on March 13th. March 17th. I'm sorry, getting my notes mixed up. At 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, live here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, as well as catch the Empty Wagon guys this Saturday at midnight Eastern Standard Time on March 13th. That's where I saw the 13th. And if you are unable to watch us live, check us out on Anchor, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, anywhere you can find us for your listening pleasures. Thank you for watching the Average Rose Fantasy Football Show. And of course, before we head on out of here, you guys can see our social medias at the bottom of the page here. Make sure you guys go out and give them a follow and share it and do everything and show it love. And before we head on out of here, I would like to thank our sponsors for tonight's show. QB54, Monkey Knife Fight, Nature Coast Tailgating, Cranky Veteran Candle Company, Shell and Mel's Boutique, Finger Lakes Mercantile, Southern Sirens, Sugar Scrub, Redwood Durables, and of course, the Recast, who are the official music of the FSA. That was a mouthful. Kevin, do you have anything else before we head on out of here?
Nope, that is it for me. Guys, like Josh mentioned, go out and check out all of our merch. Check out our new Twitch channel and all of our other social medias. Thank you for commenting along with us and sticking it out through our average first episode of the season. Looking forward to many more.
Yes, we, of course, are dusting off the cobwebs here. Me and Kevin have been slurring a bunch of words and names that we should have known. So that is all from me and Kevin. We are the Average Bros. Everybody have a great night. Stay average.